one of the experiences are obenya. And so we have to always make sure, say, when we are recovering, now we cannot just go back to our normal, even eating, drinking habits. It should be gradual so that it can help us so much. Indeed, we should be mindful, say, pressure, yet to young home, so your body organs, there's so much they can contain. So a broswa, a timid or how baby a brain nipaduano, nti yan shan and sons are. Sɛnea mede kan adeɛ no nyinaa no nso ɛhyɛ ase free adwene mu na adwene no baabi yɛfrɛ baabi brainstem mu hɔ nom yɛwɔ nneɛma mmienu ɛna ɛwɔ hɔ nom mekyerɛ mo how a nausea afa so ba nneɛma mmienu na ɛwɔ brainstem no mu yɛwɔ the chemoreceptor trigger zone ɛna ɛwɔ vomiting center saa brainstem no ɛno na hanom yɛde yellow ayɛ sɛ round mmienu yɛ ɛhyɛ hanom no hɔnom na ɛwɔ towards adwene ankasa ni adwene na ɛwɔ soro hanom no ɛna brainstem no ni nti hanom na control center no wɔ enti sɛ ɛnya scent anaasɛ ɛnya information bi free na asom so infection no bi betumi afiri wasom na aba bi nso betumi afiri GI system gastrointestinal tract system or intestine no mu ɛbɛba anaasɛ yɛ adwene no mu. Now, these two control centers, sa chemoreceptor trigger zone, yellow one, and a vomiting center nini. Omunya information no eba hanomo first say bia wate pampan bi anase wanya pressure bi ewo system no mu anase anything etimi trigger sa center we no information nya duru honoma quickly no na ascend ama a center baby a ma ultimate fe no adwene ya ne se ene memfe na me hontom no na ono so the information na akoma no what the command na niema miensa na esi ye wo bibie in the adwene mu aye friend neurotransmitters what they do omo carry information na omo carry information na omo eno be release na and these are the main things the moment this senses no nema miensa we either from asono anase onsuno mu anase adwene mu omoba this control center yi hanoma information ni ba honom na o send the signal na now dopamine will be releasing these 5 main neurotransmitters dopamine, serotonin, histamine, acetylcholine and substance P. Those are the nema ebe release na edru baby na afe vomiting center baby e control baby adwene se emfe no na asha ase kan kire adwene se salivary glands no se mantasu emra so ebe secretion kra me husa me kan ebe pompe me kan sa na simple ebe pompe like bibi to say ahura na say salivary na a building wall system we are not a diaphragm. I don't know how the tree name diaphragm what it does and they say one say and then a check lungs on a funum and the diaphragm no by put pressure wo yafunum to a miano until control center and vomiting control center no so be mia on so no until mia kono afi na we no reverse we stomach ni ni o reverse ni ema utimi ozefunu nyuma ma diane no nke be yang no now it will relax it na akachire ne say okay say the baby adunu de mintimi contain bi just will release it. So what we are basically saying is when the information gets to the chemoreceptor trigger zone, which is this yellow one, either say information is free asunumu, a bit more free asumu through infection, and I say like through your intestine, and I say adrenumu, and ya bana and ya send the message in my way. No, so they are called in 10 when you the comma salivary glands, and I say diaphragm, and I say muscles now upper GI system numuna then afe na catcher and say aduane wo nipaduane say yeah so one drink be juice be and I say wadi ufufu banku bi no be ka twen say mintimi bio enti na wa sha ase release na ne empesa ye hye ne nso ni say o sha ase fia o fit to aso a don't overlook it obi biara o fi na wadwen ye say eye be normal na onnum nsuo no you get dehydrated enti ewumu a obehu say wano ho ho nsukom so bede on tentem nsukom te wa bombodin asa obepe nsuo anom say be ya ebetimi rehydrate you and yes obe create some imbalances within the system. So imbalances no then you are heading towards another condition more especially a pregnant woman and a medical and so what I would say is you have three main group of people omutiminya ompanyifo pa and pregnant women of course and mofra most often triggers no abofra bi obowa to aso na wa moa no an help no amane nsuo na wantimi anka amudama to aso a obehu se ne ebe firi mu aba ne se wo fe enti ne emeka ama enyina hye ne nso ne se when you continuously vomit and also to me say fear na ofe then there is something you have to do nakope or doctor actually quite na one more mostly no may presentation outside hospital and I say yeah I prefer not to dwell so much on medication and the reason is simple kruman and to say ye krum Ghana meka adruno chiro krana ode obofo no obetimi akwa akoto kruman no mostly no they are all prescription drugs most of them no prescription drugs you can't get it until you go to see your primary care and ask a doctor na watimi a prescribe one but there are so many nura yetimi di treat nausea and any vomiting now the good thing is some of them no treat way assign treat other conditions account enti I just wanted to give you the summary of nura use and I don't want to go so much into it. But I draw the minimum say you're very, very familiar with it. Serotonin and 583 antagonists, and serotonins. Basically, minimum say you're very familiar with ondansetron and also Zofran. Zofran, a very common medicine, mostly no nausea or more than mind. But of course, there are various classes based on the patient's condition. The other medications are what that's on a better which one will be appropriate at which time. And like I said, I do not always want to dwell much about the medication part because absolutely we cannot do anything about it because you still have to go to your physician to get or show situation as after assessment what is good for you and which one will help you. All right. Like I said, these are some of the medications. Now, I always believe in, like I just saying, I believe in, say, apart from neuron, DMB on a meeting, who say, me bufonomia, then a meeting, and non-pharmacological treatments, and I always like them because say, when this situation comes up, and yet doctor immediately. Sometimes there are some basic things you could do to maybe prevent it, and I say obey me at so there are many but these are few ones I made about like yogurt and a ginger. I say ginger there Ghana for ya where say obi bufuna hobewi akakadru ntia and some refined carbohydrate in Nairobi, like potatoes near you. And as I leaves we meant minimum watermelon, moena plain baked chicken. Say chicken yan fahin where the chenika cran idea can hona ya bakey, waiting me na kusia. Of course, sweet potatoes and a watermelon. Nyanini be a waiting dear when officer or feeling nauseous. wobetimi de say watermelon won chen quickly no wobetimi slide onya slice bi na odi kakra, it will help you. Yogurt or wobetimi take kakra na wadi. What about drinks? So mfana say oni sa nnuane bi na nsuo ben wo a obetimi afa nsuo nyunu kakra e de aye. And I say lemonade, lemon juice or baking soda, and herbal teas like peppermint, ginger ale, and smoothies, ginger smoothies, ni soda. In fact, some of the things in Biwa easier for like soda near you say we don't promote most of them, but sometimes you mention some of them. Because when it gets to some situation, maybe if soda and kwana are available now, and a bit more, maybe you can rely on it just to get yourself relieved quickly from nausea. Into the ancient and so. Now, Niempese Mekan said sometimes there are some things you can do. Say beya obokran kofono. For instance, say where your surgery nothing will recover no. What do you have to do? Any bibi no bit me be a wokondo where aduane bi ukoda for some days no be a waduane bi a opepa wokondo opesa omo yema omo de aba no de wani bregu so bo no nyina opeso di. Is it helpful? This person yesua bibi o hanom say one so person preventing nausea and I say vomiting after surgery and the nsuo ankasa obetimi anom na numa no kakra to help yourself. And sometimes, of course, mostly in the hospitals, ombema anti nausea medication ebetimi aboyen. And mostly they will rely on that because omunim say why surgery we are all recover they have the tendency so betimi afe. When that and you are feeling nauseous, no catch wrong, mostly they will give you medicine ebetimi aboa. Of course, send Americano aduane a openo for some days one ni ene nkyere say onya opportunity na say ye bo ba kwa na say I beggar kakrakai na odi nyina odi. You can't do that. Say odi ni kakra means odi kakra see na wa train for some time. Na wa send ni kakra. After some time no obo say body no normalize but then you can now get back to your normal quantity obetimi adi. Nti yensha nso sa. Ana aduane bi also a obi a o yare na obi a o ya prone to nausea na aduane no so wasama na yanyunyu na odi wani bregu so dia is not going to help you. And yensha the kind of food at least the say room temperature kakra no betimi aboaye. And of course, madika ka ginger ginger drinks ni bi yebetimi anoma na se yanka se betimi ayebi ofie na ye de ama ye patient and I say avoid strong scent and smells. Like I said before, no scent won't pen. The moment you see, you hear, you feel it say scent be banner or quickly no. Obitima akanche alert nipa ne se mesrawa aka obitima twe on kakra na say bibi na nipa ne ya eba just tell the person say o say no won twe ne ho na say in case say we nyina no eba na o feeling nauseous don't keep it to yourself. That is why our hospital no hospital the care team no they have the responsibility to make sure so measure to tell them no, the physician now or in charge of you no so be prescribe will be now multimedia siano ti muma so sa now say yare na opese mfana say like you want to stop throwing up. One of the things you be make action say one ya fear na nya ba verse mafia USC don't quickly jump to go and eat because bia aduane no yafunu no nya ready to hold food down enti unya fiwie ya within the next 2, 3, 4 minutes biano you go back to eat of course, you have the likelihood say obesan afibium. And what we are saying is we are just give yourself some time, and also it like to give yourself the stomach, na intimate satchel kakra and sana why. And mostly no so oh yes anything you always make sure so be making sure say nsuo na wonum a enye so onum no obetuma nom 1 liter bottle bang at least o sepo no kakra eno so eboa wo. And one other thing ehu hia me pa ye so unim say even kra no nsuo kra onum na o ya afia, then there's no point even thinking of going to eat, because there should be a situation you can hold some fluid nso betima gina omu kakra na wan say body na prepare ne ho for say betimi contain aduane back nti say entimi contain a there's no point is over rush say o kwa akoye imagine so kodi, of course we di obefe and say baso you can always eat banana and say apple sauce and I say with me toast to bread bi kakra bi na odi adi. Now, the other thing I think I said it before, progress to your normal diet once you can keep fluids and bland foods down. So now, we are sure say unum nsu onfe, unum juice bia onfe. Now, in that case, obetimi asha say a solid food. Now, udia and also a gradual again to help yourself. Now we of course the last point in there say medication until you tell your care team and I say go consult a physician and they will give you something. Okay. Me say food to consume after vomiting. Say fear. Dear so we should just have to take note of that. Of course, Madika mentioned yogurt. Madika mentioned kwadu, ginger, watermelon. The other thing I made back home were crackers. And I say sometimes you toast too. And or again, you bet me aye sa nkwan, you bet me aye nkwan na ya and those ones also to me aboy after vomiting no those and I see did some of these things kakra no we will get back to normalcy. We know chat we know complicated now, like I said before, mostly when it comes to the main neuronal how it is given, I try not to go much into it because you still have to go to your doctor now what to do based on your situation. Enti yentimi nyani nyina wholesale bia asimasi adro a ne be yama no adro b enyema no na okọ asimasi so b be yama no enyema no. So sometimes I will just continue to entreat all of us to say when we are feeling nauseous now, even lead to vomiting near here. You do some of this near myself pepper drink, is ginger drinks and yogurt, and I said near mobile media control now. After some time, now and it's not being controlled, and I said so now no now still you are still feeling the same. Again, just say you call your doctor hall now what the problem is and help us solve it, because it can be dealt with. And like we started, there are so many things that causes nausea. And so be an drink also, but na what take information no na omoye reviews ni or take history ni no, he will be able to tell say no be a adenu free hanum and never, then they will find a solution to that problem. And I will always encourage say when we have some of these things na the next thing I will encourage all of us to do is to go to your primary care na be on share. Now maybe we neighbor me can say there are certain conditions and I say no be automatically a side effect and I say a trigger nausea, like saying kind of pain for it triggers it. And so young and so within the first trimester, especially. But name person make edit pregnancy and onyema banyema and yeah drubia no timinum. And when you are pregnant, your case is always special. Make sure say no baby or onum. For instance, just even blood pressure no, and I say diabetes no, and I say men kind of saying Ghana for blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol no. We just have to go back to our doctors in tentam. Now, your situation, no, they will have to quickly change your medicine. No, say and yet the right one at that time now they will have to change it. And yes, a benya effect or abofrana or one so until eventually, you will know not by maybe senka or take care and answer or pay attention to some of this in fact problem ya emma ho and answer abofra or be one until Mr. Momayan so. And like I said again, so fe and as of you could be a good thing about me your coconut kube nsuo wo ho a yebetimi anom and na yede aboa ye ho to stop some of these things. Sometimes also yebetimi spicy food aboa binumu but being so increase the likelihood say or bear vomiting until know yourself and know what can help you, and so you can do that to help yourself prevent further complications a bit because say all fit so not diarrhea crab be from dehydration will take place, and now you can cause fluid imbalances and in so no a creative problem amount. When you see say things are not working well, near say mama yang 2 amount. And one good thing I hear so cry among us at Aquarium so your nurses be your doctors be your pharmacists be your healthcare practitioners at least they can serve as a go-to now more basic advice directions to say be here so call hospital and now call than say or the best on why you be wow and finally so or say making sure say did no munsuo and did so making sure so be dear aduane so a healthy now they back American say obi a nauseous near avoid the oily food and now say aduane a udi a unim say aduane we media intimin digesting them. Now mu no na wasan kwa di aduane a unim say intimin digesting them compound the problem. And so near metimi aka share nyina ne say ye share we niema we no bi wo ha ye hunu say ye niema nkete but they have serious complications but if we don't do anything about it. The manubesi han questions na yeah nhwe ne betimi aye madam ase.
Doctor, there was a baby somehow jebu amai ebe boy pa ma etimi anya hode atena se yo doctor so de na no asi obi wa se musa na se emwa bi a obetimi dia tudwa na nyina adwendwen ho damase
Unfortunately, these symptoms of nausea, how about other yerbosuna or associated with it? Let's say headache and in other symptoms if you are or the or alarming and power.
My question here.
Say in your nausea, so some other it be like headache and I be a stomach ache or combined with it about yerba no or associated with nausea or the or alarming and power.
Okay, so what I was saying is because once I mentioned I can say there are so many things area triggers like saying okay, a bit my viral infection. Now infection, one thing infection over hospital or taking it easy. And the reason is that infection can take you off in term. And ama oko pharmacy na nurubia uba na drubia ni hona omunya hu say even the queue no wasan na antibiotics na ya ube hu say immediately no they will make sure say they will fill it for you. And the reason is that infection etimi spread could do baby a betimi lead to complication betimi do baby crash shut organs now. And for me I can't say I won't limit it, but because you are not able to tell say infection into you have to do the basic things as well, when you are not seeing any signs quickly go seek medical attention, because some of them might be internal, like saying like a heart attack and a viral infection contributory factors such a can say when you know yourselves okay BBNC but my sorry na who say me feel nauseous. Maybe one will say you are getting bloated. Meaning said there's a possibility say indigestion be a taking place. Inti o take in so taking them far. Like I said, quickly consult your doctor to help us prevent, because medically it is good to say near be sure say na uhunu ntema you are able to stop it than say obema ebe lead to the other, because some of the are interrelated whereby it triggers the other. And that is what I can say for now. Say when you see now the basics necessary na enko now you say be okay make incredible bibi try na no I thought to say we bibi kitu every but near the na oboefunu ne it could be say na infection I didn't try no there is some kind of infection be akumua and it lead to other things. So go the labs and see say be a infection. Quickly they'll give you antibiotics as some of them all to treat it. Now again, I will say this. Let us follow the direction. It is very, very important, because so one full course now especially antibiotics near you say you are introducing resistance. Intifane say abosaslim and omode ma o 1 2 office o you okay na ojaya o yet to aso sa ebedu tembe no okọ hospital na aduro no yade ne ya mosaslim so omode ma enya adwuma, because what build the resistance, because you didn't completely kill the bacteria and I say virus and now I develop resistance to it. So intimisramo no be also the maya now mama say yeah for this number of days yeah more home o me see those so mostly okoje drone so betimi abisa and answer the like pharmacist no will cancel you on that, but say in case say you refia ask say in case say I am fast 2 times a day na me say ba kwa no pa na say me say ba kwa nimra, what do I do? Na me kai maybe some hours later, what do I do? I don't want to give a blanket counseling. Until maybe some may cancer and say yeah you drew on my pair the medication I we can get the right counseling at everything abwaye. That's it.
Yeah, that's one. Now again, it cares something about a pregnant woman more from an elderly. So when you those symptoms of nausea now, or there raise some concerns. But in more from how would you easily determine the way your nausea? Maybe until I be obey message nothing. That before then, and say if there's no message, how abu kakraba. Is there any way we show the way your nausea now?
What I was saying is I think sometimes on some of the things in BY it becomes difficult, but what will happen here? Ebedru sometimes no my personal observation here bi wo a aduane no kra no de ma na wonje na kakra no so kra na obe manage di ama no na eba so na make I say and now say there is an event bi I see for instance na make me ba no de no wo huri and our power and obehwe so because of that sudden condition induce nausea wonimu enti prekope na wa sha say throw up in fact initially na ma but later when I sha say no it continued na more mano bibia na ofe me mano I just saw say the way I name ekono no yemre I just said no this thing I just have to go now me dey call hospital fortunately me call because like I said Zofran na no you can't write it you can't get it yourself so you have to go they will do whatever they have to do to say X-ray I CT scans as you say okay BBN happen train and I say body then now they are convinced it's okay maybe there was a trigger for the nausea and yemano na yediamano think more the especially more kasa no krano I would say when you see say the behavior is changing it is appropriate say you be take at least you now you're taking from there so they will be able to tell how they are feeling but sometimes it becomes difficult to tell until we are necessary na atimi prevent further complications.
That brings you to mind how I handling number from a parent to be African or the baby ma Afrobana impedoja and the next thing beating Nazi will follow. And I think you are cautioning us for the young how you be in charge with them from
yes. You got no more question and answer more. I'm making the other.
Interestingly, this morning, we share a clip of a Nigerian social commentator, Lady B, or Tabe YouTube, who put a new social commentary in a very funny line. Then, she hadn't been on for a couple of weeks now. Then she comes out with a story relating to nausea. Also, nausea. And what tried to treat in the more Western. Finally, Odu stage when hospital. Then she had a very major issue. She even had to undergo surgery. Free details in the kakra, but just this morning I'm share clip and so coincidentally in the a briefing on how these things are affecting them.
Yo, Doctor Eda Wasibebre Nampacho baby at say any subre business and ne sa nausea okay it can be an or relationship.
I will say yes because once say American say nausea anyway like it's been controlled from the brainstem. So the receptor na hormone vomiting center. So when you brew na information no if you are dream said this is what is happening. Now the receptor no receive na make no udidi yenche because anisubiri no mostly no for instance be a why bibi na overwhelming and I say mofra de obitimi atwa de ho and I say you did something to induce some of those things there's a possibility say you can feel nauseous and so yes Anna like I said who will so be and I say will be obitimi de stop that feeling na why in term and yes they are if an isubrin also by just you didn't do anything now and also trigger, I would say sometimes pressure, any other things can be a sign. So to okay, now when you see near, I think it is one thing that you do not even have to wait to kind of do self-medication and answer or attend it to. You have to go look at it. Because Africa for no, in fact, Nansai Majumum never be or have me experience, and I've seen say sometimes when nipa ni be kasa ube bisa no question or so media ya menyare nti or me when was the last time I call for annual check-up in yourself me need doctor near you. And sometimes some most of us we feel proud about it. You know, my culture say no, and you're right. And the reason why you're right, and in fact, insurance companies, you realize or more mutaye annual checkups near they preferred clients that young kono. And the reason is that when you do those things now, they can prevent anything and can be happen. For instance, on am no feel so you're strong. But yeah, can crown be na or cholesterol are built to certain level and also pressure are built by who until said the organ will give way. Now one will say, I drew hand now I lead to stroke. Maybe if you had gone to do annual checkup, no more your blood works are. All these things, will show. Say, maybe our cholesterol air core and also sugar air core and also pressure damage, Mr. Check your diet, do exercise, do ABC. Now, aboy. And what I would say is that some of the things, like an is brainy way now walk on it just by itself there. But I think that the first thing as I said we should do is say obey to me. I share so be call doctor. However, obi wo also wo obstetric is be a was original precope. And it's great me back. If you are that kind of person, go gradually. Sorry to passo, and as I could sorry to oboko. Then before you get up, what mean sorry precope boom. Oh yes, I'm sure needs to be room water. And I think those things they have some relationship. But like I was saying, we have to be careful with our health and whatever we have to do. So beya yebiti
Dr. Mdasipa.
Yo, Dr. Mpacho, my question and say a crew bow yemwa. Etumi ma sadie no so eba.
Yes, it's part of the reason that because infection, it can be from the stomach. Inter-American stomach flu, Until when you have something like that, it can also trigger it. Yeah.
Yo, me that's it.
Doc, maybe so say NAUSEA be while working out, especially in a gym or only a strenuous physical activity that is it be there able continue after you got some relief and you should stop and
what I was saying is that once time American courses make us self-induced. Self-induced, whilst working out, meaning say you did something like more than your capacity. And through that, it got induced. So what I was saying is, look, for instance, you wait to be now called left here, and a trigger, and I mean, you've gone beyond your capacity. So next time, you even after getting relief, you don't have to go back there. You have to work your way to that. But when you get there, I mean, say, be waiting, bro. So you do not have to continue to do that because yes, body sometimes body you bit yes, I'm force or adjusted to it, but not be now you are introducing another situation at more body to make says if you did something like that, it's a form of self-induction, and so you do not have to do that. Don't continue with that. That is what I would say.
it does.
Question be any obium there and yeah.
Me pacho nnuane sometimes di no na ye bo fun na betumi ama ye throw out na then nnuane bi saa na obetumi abo ye nkokọ ho.
And I think some mention nnuane like fatty food and digesting them, you do not have to do it. And as spicy foods, maybe also they are also triggers, so you do not have to do it. Inti nnuane and digestion, meaning say Africa for your penam, but stradinam nnuane bibro, it doesn't help us, especially if you are someone what are fairly nauseous near you, because indigestion, technically, is a contributory factor to this. And he say, oh yeah, then once a fat is so easy to digest, and in fact, that is the reason why it causes so much health problems. And I would say, fatty foods there, it should be one of our number one enemies. Yes.
Yo, me that's it.
And oily foods, so I one yeah.
Yo, same say be no what na better doctor ase. Na ensema wo de atudwa akyekye no. Enso so yetimi di so ebebo yi ni pedua na nya ho de nyina kye. Was papa pa ya mi tiraw. The side do your eda Yonkodoradio for ase say zemi. Omude ko akyikyiri bencheye na obi anso ati. Wetimi dia hwe ne ho so ya bo ne bra afata ma Kristo. Tie de ne adisua na ko na wieye. Mbebo mpa ye de. Tie nyina se nyamensa so mai mu ahodene. Doctor say bo mpa ye de wa se nyamensa se o ma onyansa ni die. Obi be cheche di biara da. Omcho me mo mpa ye. Tumi ni ahodene wura o ma da wa se ne da so de da ya che kwa. Emi nsema ya tie nyina fi doctor nchen nyina che so nyame na ama ne nyansa ni die. Da she na bi mu ma ama watimi ada di a kire yen. Emi die so se ma yen so ye tie ni nsema ne so ne tin ma bra pension no nyana ya bibi titi nipa ya ne kofa ba ya ho eso no. Ubade tu asema woma umenya ho dene. Ye fa ma bra pension no nyam. De tie fo nyina se. Nyina be si ntimi fa encheche enuanu he ma na ebusua. Ntimi ntrase fa ya ho nyina ma Kristo. Mreso kokwakoda eni ho so je na ti asfo na me ba tampa. Kra wo maso na bi da suimu e ho masem. Na mafo na mreyen na ba bi chenya. So ya da se de ne kabema. Da wase so bi tie mpa bo na wa ya bi sa de nyina ma ye waje nkwapa. Thank you Yesu di muti. Amen.
Amen.
Yo.
I mean, come with them.
Nka de ne. Ewi bia akodi ne. Yes. Nespa. See didn't it me. Who I have no.
Amen.
Amen.